Hello and welcome back to the Inverted Castle, a Metroidvania enthusiast podcast. I'm Eric Fox, an old wealthy industrialist who just can't see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And with me as always is a man who knows all of the hottest trends and the latest slang of today's youth culture. It's Tom Blight.
Yo, for real, I'm out of slang.
Listen, it's easy. You just show them some cool yo-yo tricks and they'll be eating out of your hands. Yo-yo tricks you could learn in today's game, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo, a game developed by Pocket Trap and released in 2025. As the name would imply, it's a lot of yo-yoing. It's an isometric, explore 'em up, Metroidvania / Zelda-esque design.
Yeah.
But in the aesthetics of a Game Boy Advance game, we should talk about its presentation in a bit here, but yeah, it really does commit to that aesthetic. But yeah, how'd you find it?
Yeah, I liked it. Actually, it's odd. I'm conflicted on it. It had that, like, just one more room
Yeah.
property for me, but also the combat, like, was all over the place a little bit.
I see. Like it was inconsistently like challenging or interesting, something like that.
Yeah, like, I think it took a little too long to get to a combat relevant ability, especially if you took the right-hand path at the beginning.
I did not, so I did not have that problem. This game is somewhat open-ended, but yeah, I would say that I mostly agree with the combat is a bit brawlerish. There are occasional specific encounters that, you know, kind of play with your yo-yo design of banking it off of angles to kind of extend it, hitting guys in situations that's harder to get at, specifically like shielded enemies. But yeah, like the traversal abilities don't really have combat utility as much as that's just like getting around. And the way that your actual combat focused ones, like the charged attacks, thinking specifically like parry and the cat's cradle one, where it just kind of home ins on everybody. Obviously my favorite.
Yeah.
The way they're doled out is not as, I don't know, metered, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, there are some that have combat utility, right? But I almost wish they committed way more, and like combat should also be a puzzle, where the solution is bank your yo-yo off of various trick shot places. I don't know.
I think they did to some extent, although in a lot of cases you could just ignore it. Like they'd set up a room with a bunch of angles that you could theoretically employ, or you can just kind of charge in and just be good enough with your jumps and dodges and whatnot.
Yeah.
And occasionally rooms are just, oh, the enemy is the puzzle, especially the shield dudes. Just find how to bank your shots correctly.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, I do not have your issue. Like I would never say that the combat is like, oh, this is the game to play if you're really into, say, like, I don't know, if you like the Nine Soul style, or like a character action focused game, like where engaging with enemies is deep and rich mechanically, this isn't really it. But I think it got the job done for what is mostly a parkour focused game. And if I'm being completely honest, it's allusions to like the Zelda style. Zelda's not had particularly interesting combat either. And I think that kind of fit into that framework pretty nicely. Just
fair.
My expectations were at that level, really.
And I guess, like, we should just talk about the whole, like, okay, it calls itself a yo-yo-vania.
Yes.
What does that even mean?
Well, there's a yo-yo, and you could argue, as I think I would, this follows in the Metroidvania design philosophy to the extent that a Zelda game does, and I'm going to drop a hot take on you. Zelda games are, if not a subgenre of Metroidvania, like a related under a similar subheading. I just don't think they're all that different, and now clearly our next game's going to be Ocarina of Time. Fuck you, fight me.
Okay. Meet me outside. No. Some people make a big deal about, I guess, dungeons being, like, isolated nodes.
Sure.
And then there being a world map. And that's pretty much what's going on here, right?
Yeah, there's a interconnected world map and discrete dungeon zones, which are like a Zelda dungeon, more sprawling, contains all your puzzles. You get your movement ability that then solves the rest of it.
And then there's other people who will be like, but there's no platforming because it's 2D. It's like, well, there's at least a jump, but...
There is a jump. I've never personally subscribed to has to be a side-scrolling platformer. I mean, Metroid Prime's on this list already, so I'm already pretty, loosey-goosey as it is. And currently my top game is another of the isometric, action-focused Zelda-style explore maps, unsighted. And so...
That's true.
Clearly, my predilections are on display here.
Clearly, we are not the biggest purists.
No, not in terms of pure volume or in how fiercely we defend our convictions. But I would say to is Zelda a Metroidvania? Like, I think, for one thing, I think the dungeons kind of act as Metroidvanias in microcosm of like, okay, you explore this pretty open space if they're designed interestingly. And then it's just kind of limited to like one, maybe two ways that the dungeon kind of, changes as you get your upgrade.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I think it hides it better, but like any given Metroidvania does kind of delineate certain zones in like an order. They're just kind of usually meshed up against the larger world map a bit better. There's less of an overworld specifically.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. In any Metroidvania, there is going to be a sequence, although I guess then there's, like, okay, intended and unintended ways to break that sequence in, say, like, Super Metroid, right? You can do weird things with wall jumps, infinite bomb jumps, etc.
Yeah, and even though, like, you do go through, like, Brinstar, Norfair, the Abandoned Ship, or whatever, you also go through those areas several times. Maybe not Abandoned Ship as much unless you're really going for 100%, but regardless.
Yeah.
We don't know about that game yet.
Oh yes, we've never heard of Super Metroid. We're completely oblivious to any game named Super Metroid.
Yeah. We're just very positive on Metroid. We think it is super.
Yes, clearly. Yeah, I guess brief plot.
You never said whether or not you agree with me.
What?
Do you think Zelda games should be counted?
They're close enough.
So if I were to say, hey, Majora's Mask, game 50, what are we doing? Would you fight me? There we go.
I suppose.
You'd rather not, but I could bully you. Got it. Noted.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were talking about something else?
Yeah. Sorry. Quick primer on the plot. You are Pippet. You're apparently a youth who is wasting his energy being a yo-yo master, going to tournaments, because that's a thing.
A cursory Google search tells me that, yes, they are things. There's a rich yo-yo community that, like, all power to them, but before this game, had no idea.
You're living off of your rich aunt. I don't think they ever really give a reason for why parents know. Like,
it's implied, or rather stated, that your aunt, Madame Pipistrello, your Pipistrello, mouthful, but like it's said that she raised Pippet.
Yeah.
Again, not going into, there's not a deep lore here, but yeah, you're kind of the loser nephew that's only being kept afloat by his wealthy relative.
Anyway, it turns out she's been putting the screws on people pretty tightly in terms of having a monopoly on energy.
Yeah.
And that has angered the local shady businessman enough to employ, I don't even remember what it was called originally now, a soul-sucking device.
I don't know its proper name, but yes, that's what it does. For energy.
Yeah, which takes her soul and puts it into 4 mega batteries, which are, apparently souls are really good at powering batteries.
Nobody tell the actual capitalists. Please. It's the one thing they haven't taken from us.
Yeah. Pippet intervenes just long enough to accidentally put a portion of his aunt's soul into his yo-yo.
Yeah, it got all her sass.
And then is promptly left for dead after being kicked into a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on a rampage of revenge against the shady business people who are now using your wife's wife.
Whoa,
Jeez.
dude. Whoa, dude.
Whoa, Aunt Soul.
Yeah.
to power various tasks.
This isn't one of those Steam games.
Jeez.
Yeah. You were prompted by your very angry bat aunt, who's now in your yo-yo, to get her soul back. A soul still burns.
Yeah.
In like the 4 major areas, you got the literal mall rat. He's doing nefarious things like running out the small town or the like local food joint, underpaying and overworking all the employees. You know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, he made McDonald's.
So he's got to get taken down. There's the slime tycoon who is just destroying the city's infrastructure in order to mine for diamonds, which all of these things aren't things that your aunt necessarily was against. She just wanted the money, and they now want the money from all of these things. No one is free from sin. This game is very, very clearly anti-capitalist in its messaging.
Yes, there's the football club owner who has used the batteries to make soccer playing robots in order to fix the outcome of games.
Both owns the stadium and the gambling and is fixing matches for sports betting purposes. So everyone bets for his super fighting robot team, and then, oh man, they just sucked today. They don't know what to tell you. Money peas.
And then the last one is running an infinite convention.
Basically, yeah, like music. There's a cosplay contest. There's a bunch of people selling Bitcoin at a stall.
Yeah, I have a feeling that some of these are a bit of an author tract.
Yeah. But yeah, the main thing was a hologram version of your aunt saying things she would never say, like being pleasant and
dabbing.
Oh man. Youth culture, it's poison. But yeah, beating all of them culminates in you grabbing all the mega batteries together. Throughout your journey, you've also had your 2 helpers for your upgrades and gameplay related services. And they've just been hanging out in the safe house with the batteries all this time. And turns out they were behind it the whole time.
Dun dun dun.
It's pretty clearly telegraphed, but it was still a sort of like, no, they wanted in on the grift, but they got cut out of it during the whole soul-sucking operation. And so they pivoted to now basically overloading your aunt with the soul energy being pumped back in and then like capturing that. I can't remember the exact climax here, but
yeah,
you got to fight your aunt.
Yep.
But throughout the journey, apparently she had it was a bit of a soul searching journey if you think about it.
Ho 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 ho.
She finally understands what's really important or something, and as an act of kindness to her last family member as well, she kind of gives up all that soul energy and disperses it throughout the town. So now everyone kind of has like free, clean energy for an indeterminate amount of time.
Yeah, how long can that really last?
It's floating magic soul juice. 3 weeks.
I'll give it 3 days.
Yeah, but you don't care because it's supposed to be like a self-sacrifice thing, but don't worry, enough of her is left in the yo-yo that now she can help her nephew do a bit better than 300th place in a yo-yo competition.
Oh, wait, was that how good he was at the beginning?
That was the beginning. Was like he was telling a story to the cab driver, and it's implied that like, oh, I can't believe you're doing like so well in these competitions in front of millions of people. And then later, or he's talking to his aunt and be like, yeah, this is the yo-yo I used to get 300th place in the latest competition. It's he's not good. And also it's funny that all of your ability upgrades come from your aunt seeing an enemy do something and saying like, hey, we should try walking the dog.
I mean, it sort of works in that like it's your aunt actually kind of getting into yo-yoing.
Yeah, no, I like it.
But it does also kind of just make Pippet seem like he's incompetent, doesn't it?
It does.
Which maybe that's the purpose. I don't know.
Legitimately, I think he is canonically not very good at this. But you are.
Yeah. I mean, like, the cousins also, like, I mean, because she's your aunt and they're your cousins, I was like, so are they her children? Is there other aunts and uncles around? And I guess the answer is yes.
I can only assume because, like, they do not have that kind of familial bond. And also, the Pipistrello family has a, like, mafioso quality to its presentation, so it could just be like cousins in quotation marks.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe this is like distant, like third, fourth, fifth cousins.
Yeah. But speaking of the cousins, one of them equips badges, which is pretty much the typical charms setup.
Yep.
The other one is a little funky. She gives you upgrades, but rather than buying the upgrade and getting it immediately, you enter a contract which has a negative penalty, and then half of your money goes to working off the contract.
Yeah, remember, this game is very anti-capitalist from top to bottom, but I think this is a very interesting way to dole out your upgrade tree.
It's interesting. It's also, I don't know, it's a little odd. The negative effects include things like losing some health, or some max health, losing some badge points, which let you equip more abilities, not being able to get health drops from enemies, losing some attack power. I don't know, it makes for an interesting game design conundrum, I think, in terms of, like, people can have a lot of wildly different conditions on them when they're going into a fight. I suppose you can always give up the contract, and apparently you can get some money back from that. I never actually tried doing that.
Me neither. Like, this is a thing that I found more in theory interesting. In practice, I just was not challenged enough by the main game. Like, the difficulty setting is like there's not presets. It's pretty robust series of just changing the numbers on like damage, health, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really mess with that this time around because there wasn't a preset, but yeah, all of the downsides were just like, okay, I'll crack one on, and when I'm about to fight a boss, just not get another one. Or if it didn't affect my output of damage, it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I found annoying about that is, I don't know, I tended to play fast and loose enough that not getting hearts dropped from enemies was actually pretty inconvenient.
That was definitely the worst one of them.
Yeah.
Just because you'd have to really rely on going back to like safe houses and playing in such a way that you're also not falling down pits. Like, every mistake is just going to start adding up, and death in this game isn't too bad. It mostly just costs you money, and it costs you less money every time you retry the same room.
Yeah. It's some fraction of the money you're holding, I think.
It will go down to just like a penny every time or whatever.
Yeah.
I did have to retry a room because I walked in with 1 HP and got pot committed. But yeah,
Fair.
like it's a slap on the wrist, and especially when you're already committing to, well, I'm just going to keep retrying the room. There's also a limit to how much you can actually lose. So it ended up being fine.
But like, the initial value, if you're holding a lot, it can actually be kind of significant.
Well, then just don't hold a lot.
That's fair.
Always be spending.
But I want to save it for the most expensive badge. Yeah.
That's also why I hoarded the, like, occasionally you'll be rewarded on side quests and treasure rooms with gems, like these diamonds, which you can usually just like chuck into your safe house. And because the safe house is in a quantum state of being the same room but everywhere, like every time you find like the safe zone to, you know, restock and whatnot, it's the same room. So everything you chucked in there, be it a burger or a diamond, it'll just kind of be hanging out there for you. So that's storage, baby. 'Cause, like, this game doesn't have an inventory of like things other than badges. So having that was a pretty elegant way to have, like, if you don't want to cash in on a quest now, save it here.
Yeah. Although I didn't figure that out until they told me.
Oh, really?
So I had just been walking the burgers the whole way
Oh, no.
until that point. I was like, oh, I didn't need to walk these? Oh, whoops.
I think I found a diamond early on and didn't know what to do with it. So I'm just like, well, the only spot I know is the room. And I could just kind of mostly just hoped that if I chucked it in there, it would stay in there, and it did. But yeah, there's a hint system that will explicitly tell you can do these things.
I found one early on and just kind of took it and was like, well, what do I do now? And then left it there. And came back later when it was contextualized by the jewel store.
You'll get these diamonds, but until you've beaten the first 2 major zones, 2 of 4, you can't even get to where you cash those guys in. So yeah, it's a weird mystery that I kind of liked, but I can definitely see kind of vexing if you're just like, well, I did a thing and I got something useless. Great.
Yeah, it's a mystery for later.
Sure. But like mostly it was just like a thing that I felt like I could interact with somehow. I felt like I should walk over and he'll like, oh, you found a diamond, add to your inventory. But no, it's a physical object you can throw around.
That's fair. I guess, I don't know, quick rundown of the abilities.
I like them.
There's walking the dog, which is a rolling the yo-yo in front of you and following it, which also goes across water.
Yeah, its main use is going across fluids. It will just go until you hit a wall or jump off it yourself.
Yeah, there's wall kicks, I guess. Wall pushes with the yo-yo.
I don't think this is an actual yo-yo move, and that's probably the biggest disappointment of this game, is that your wall boost, where you jump in the air, chuck the yo-yo at a wall, and it pushes you, like it stalls you in the air, so that's how you, like, sort of boost yourself through these, like, mazes of walls, basically, just, like, hovering above the ground, parkour style. It's a lot of fun to use. It's not a yo-yo trick. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that would possibly be a yo-yo trick. And it only gets less yo-yo tricky from there. There is, of course, just throwing the yo-yo, which is used for a whole bunch of puzzles.
Yep.
Involving bouncing off of things or later fans that redirect it.
Yeah, that's I think just in one zone. Like, this game also doesn't reuse gimmicks too much. The fans being one of them. While your yo-yo is off the string, your attacks no longer deal damage unless you have a specific medal.
Yeah, they do stun people, though.
They do stun, but you have to kind of either wait or go and retrieve your yo-yo. If you can catch it while it's still, like, flying through the air, I guess you get a bonus amount of damage, although I think that might be an upgrade.
I think by default you get bonus damage, but you might get more bonus damage
Right.
with the upgrade.
I could never really do it. Usually when I'm throwing it, it is away and not so much coming back.
You can do it every once in a while, but usually it's just like, oh, I'm in line with it, I might as well attack the yo-yo to get it back, like, a little bit sooner.
Right.
Then there's UFO, which is a platforming thing where you throw the yo-yo and it hovers and you can grapple to it and then jump off of it.
There are points where you can grapple natural style. UFO just lets you do it anywhere.
Yeah.
UFO does sound like a yo-yo trick, and maybe it exists not in this case, which is obviously just a magic flying yo-yo bereft of string.
Yeah. And wall riding, which is right out in terms of what yo-yos can do.
You latch onto a wall and, yeah, you are just riding along the wall like a skateboard would without the influence of gravity. I can see a trick called a wall ride or wall run, like, because it's a spinning thing that just kind of climbs up a wall, maybe just like vertically, but not like this. But I'll give them some artistic credit for those. At least it sounds more like it. And I don't know why it's only the wall boost that bugged me, but maybe it's because it's inversely proportional to how cool I thought it was. Because, man, wall boost was a lot of fun to use. I think this game's movement for the, like, kind of chunky isometric style, very good. And it knew it because the ending sequence had, like, put all your skills to the test parkour challenge, but the final boss also kept throwing up, put all your skills to the test parkour challenge.
Yeah.
In addition to fighting. And I don't know, I liked the way it was like, okay, you're fighting, and then, like, she goes away, wall ride into wall boost, yo-yo, UFO. I don't know, like, combat could take or leave. You got a few abilities there, but I think getting around was a joy. It charmed me a lot. It is the core to the experience. Everything else is kind of just on the periphery, just adding a little bit more meat to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pseudo-regalia, except I feel like pseudo-regalia ended up in a place where it's a little more freeform.
Yeah, this one is very puzzle focused in its movement challenges. But like some of the longer sequences definitely felt that kind of freeform, like if you can one-shot it or like sight read what you got to do, especially for the longer sequences, it gave the same feeling.
Yeah. I had a dumb problem where wall running was the last thing I got, and
Same.
the answer was almost always wall running, and I kept not thinking of it. I was like, man, how do you get through this? And I was like, oh, wait, I can connect to walls.
I can literally just be there. I have floor. It's just vertical. It's fine. I also got that one last, but I had the other problem of kind of wishing I didn't, because there are a few puzzles that were just completely broken by it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, well, I could solve this the way they designed it to be, but skip.
Definitely the fact that a lot of things that you can do the walk the dog on, you can also wall run, right?
Yeah.
That kind of diminishes it a little bit. I don't know.
A little bit, but like the big optional area that's just like the long river with nothing but water, you need to walk the dog there. There's, in fact, no walls in many of the screens there.
Fair.
So walking the dog, you have to like line up to like the corners to like bank off to change your direction. It maintained relevance a bit longer than you'd think, but yeah, I got it first and that felt appropriate.
Yeah. You know, I never actually tried to do it while fighting. Even though there's enemies that do it, it seems like it would be inconvenient.
If you get the elephant badge, it will deal damage and like kind of run through. Otherwise, it's a liability. You might do a bit of hurt, but like it'll stop you. You'll kind of bounce where you are and get swarmed by enemies.
Oh, I meant the wall, but I guess the walk the dog. I did like the walk the dog for combat a little bit. I mean, like, there's a bunch of badges that you start getting in the second half that give the first half abilities extra stuff, right? So it's like the flames that go along with the walk the dog, where when you hit something, it spews the flames onto them, and so you just get damage over time.
Okay.
I liked that.
I didn't mess around with that beyond elephant in like a couple of specific rooms, but...
Oh, I went full modify my abilities, please, with badges.
Gotcha.
So I was rocking the wide yo-yo with flames behind it.
This game is so sick, dog. Your custom yo-yo with flame decals.
Yeah.
Racing stripes so it goes faster.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, it's actually kind of cool.
And I also rushed to... I've forgotten what the name of the ability was. Is it Prodigy?
Bonus.
Yeah. Bonus special effects on your...
Yes.
X button abilities.
Yeah, so in addition to all these traversals, you also get your charged moves where you get around the world, which, you know, spins the yo-yo around you, hitting enemies. Pretty good.
That's not a charged move, but
oh,
yes.
that's a special move. Sorry.
The specials are the X button ones: the parry, the around the world, and the coin toss.
Okay, I see what happened. For mine, the top button is Y.
Oh.
And your main attack is X. And you played on the Switch, so your top button is X. And yeah, okay,
yeah,
cool.
That's fair. Yeah, and then there's the charged moves, which are... I kind of thought there were going to be more of them.
Yeah, like his Flurry, Cat's Cradle, and...
Sleeper, where you just hold it out.
Oh, right.
And it deals damage. Like, I mean, it had utility. It was sometimes helpful to keep enemies at bay or deal damage to them as they're approaching you.
Yeah.
Also, the Cat's Cradle was obviously the best one.
It's obviously the best one. Like, every time you hit an enemy, it extends your yo-yo to home in on the next nearest enemy. This can also, like, spin around and hit an enemy twice.
Yeah.
It also does more damage, I think, especially if you have the badge that upgrades charged moves.
Yeah.
That's what combat became for me was, do the Cat's Cradle move and occasionally just pelt out single hits.
I really liked the coin toss. I'm not actually sure what the coin toss is like before you get Prodigy, right, because I rushed for it. I was just like, all right, we're just going along the bottom. We're going to get this thing.
Yeah, this one purposefully disengages your yo-yo in a coin flip right where you're standing. But then if you time your attack to like pick it up again before it hits the ground, if you've upgraded it, it does like a burst of damage. Otherwise, it just does a bit more damage.
Yeah, when you've upgraded, it becomes a bomb. Like, actually, it can replace the bombs that you find, which was also kind of funny having
Wait,
it equipped.
are you serious?
Yeah, you can cheese some puzzles by just using the coin flip with Prodigy.
That makes sense. This game is full of things where you can cheese puzzles. That tracks, but I never tried it.
Yeah, I did, and it was like, oh, yeah. I mean, the coin flip dealt so much damage with the bomb. It was for a long time just what I was doing.
The only reason I swapped off of any of these was to get the achievements for using the other abilities. Just like, it's the little mind trick to just have some variety, but really I knew what my build was pretty early on. Or not early on, actually. It took me a while to get Cat's Cradle, but once you get it.
Yeah, Cat's Cradle was the last thing that I got.
Yeah. But yeah, this game features a bunch of ways to break it. Weirdly enough, in addition to the way you just described it, blowing up a thing, there's a badge that you can like skip on the water with it to like break a few puzzles that you'd usually need to like set up walking the dog.
Or get to places before you can wall hang.
Or do your UFO grapple move.
I mean, those ones are mostly over actual pits, so it's not quite as useful, but yeah.
Not quite as useful, but occasionally you'll need to get around like an electric fence or something, and having it as like an extra bit of like you got most of the way across and then the last little bit just hop, and if you upgraded it, hop again. There's a set of badges that are pretty hard to get to. This is basically endgame, but they're all called cheating badges, where it like literally has a note like, this breaks the game. Please think about it before using these. Yeah. Because it absolutely does break all the puzzles. Like walking the dog, you can now just like at will change direction. You can remote throw your yo-yo and just have it soar through the air, just like telepathically deciding where it goes. You could teleport to it, see where it lands.
One of the ones that was not a cheater's one, but I also liked a lot, was the one that makes it bounce off of flat walls.
Oh yeah. That's the way you get your like damage bonus from recatching it in the air. But yeah, I used that and the wide thing to do one of the mini games, which of course this game has a bunch of them. It's a Zelda game. There's a target practice. The bounce in that thing was very good for that. Although if you just have your remote control version of it, again, easy peasy.
Fair.
My runtime was about 16 and a half hours to 100% it. Not sure if you got your hour count.
I took a lot longer. I mean, like, I was also going for basically as much as I could get the moment that I could get it.
As you usually do. I'm more of an efficient, like, okay, I'll see how long I can slum it before I need to collect everything.
But there's too many cool things. Although I feel like I like missed the badges that I liked most until pretty late.
Oh no.
Such as the bounce one, which I only got after I had beaten the game.
Clearly you need to do New Game Plus, which allows you to just have all your movement upgrades.
Yeah. Turn on the cheaters badges and see how easy you can make it.
Like, you could theoretically just beeline to the end of the game with 3 hearts and nothing else.
Yeah. So it took me like, I think I was up at 21 hours by the end of it. And I don't want to know how many of them were spent trying to do things in the water areas before I had the wall run.
Yeah, it almost seems like you should be able to do something like, okay, I have walk the dog in UFO. Clearly I can get through this, not knowing that wall ride is just around the corner.
There's definitely one that I found very hard that I'm not sure how you're supposed to do properly, which I think the only reward was money, and I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be like a big thing for finally solving it, but no.
Outside of badges, it does have a bit of a all rewards are the same problem.
Yeah.
Badges, always cool. Love to see some gameplay extension, but beyond that, heart containers in this game are 8 to get an upgrade, so each individual one doesn't feel as momentous. Your badge point upgrades, every 2 gets you a point, which is much better. They're, of course, much rarer.
And you will end the game with tons of badge points.
I mean, I ended the game with tons of badges, too. All the points got used. Make no mistake.
Fair.
But definitely there were a couple of puzzles, I think, had more gameplay than Skinner box rewards, so...
You know what puzzle took me the longest time, and I feel kind of dumb that it took me very long.
I couldn't possibly know.
The ones right outside of the arena. Do you remember what those were?
No. Oh, like were they in a house?
Yeah, there's 2 houses.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I guess I'll get an ability that'll let me go around that at some point. I never got an ability that let you get around that at some point.
I cannot remember the specific thing you're trying to get around.
So there's a house where there's a switch, but like you can't reach it with your yo-yo. It's blocked.
Oh, right.
And there's another house where
you can reach a switch, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
There's a pressure plate, but it's surrounded by walls. And
yep.
It turns out that the state of those 2 houses are mirrored and connected.
Okay, I remember exactly. That kind of puzzle does appear in things, not too terribly often, but I kind of was like, it was the first time you'd encountered something that was like actually fully like blocked off, but you clearly need to interact with it. But yeah, I don't know. I walked into both houses and saw that they were mostly laid out the same. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
You were right to feel bad, is my problem.
They were the last thing I got. It's just like, all right, clearly there was not some hidden upgrade that would let me do this. Let's think about these a little longer.
Yeah. You had it in the back of your mind for like most of the game.
Yeah.
And yet, I think I should also note, if you're looking to do 100%, this game does have inbuilt pay money. Will give you like the spot on the map where a thing is, which is just enough information so that it's not completely ruining the like puzzle of it, but you know where something is, and it's often off screen from a spot where it looked like you could not actually go, but oh wait, that's not an abyss. There's a wall up there. I'll just ride it and see if the screen transitions. And it usually does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like, God, 5 or 6 badges, a bunch of health containers need to grab. Thankfully, I had enough money because I hoarded that shit.
I was still spending a lot of it on badges and had to go get more diamonds in order to afford that. Although I didn't have that. I had a fair number of badges that I hadn't found, especially the 2 specific underground ones where it turns out that maybe pressure plates have multiple uses.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that one. There's like a puzzle that only rewards money, but if you manage to actually like get them all pressed down at the same time, I think it is.
Yeah.
Secret door. Yeah, that one took me a bit, but
yeah. Those ones were very confusing because the only rooms I had left from the fortune teller were the rooms on the other sides of those. And it was just like, there's no sewer. How?
It also clearly states like what sub-map, like, oh, is this the abandoned sewers? Is this the sewers of the middle of the town? So you know like what general area. And yeah, it's just reasoning out that it has to be through this wall somehow. And I'm not missing that much. It's pretty cool. I don't know. This game was chock full of cool stuff.
Another one that made me feel very dumb. The first pedal container you can see in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Didn't figure that one out for a long time.
Which one was this? What do you need to do?
In the South Plaza.
Yeah.
There's a heart container behind the blue temporary blocks.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You gotta find 2 hidden switches.
Yeah, they're just kind of vaguely obscured.
It took me a very long time to figure out there were hidden switches in that zone.
Were you actively searching this whole time, or were you just coming back and being like, surely they're like...
Yeah, surely I'll solve this at the same time as I get the ability that lets me hit the switch in those 2 houses, I guess.
Yeah, right. or maybe I get an ability that's just like, hit a button and then all the switches swap. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was waiting to get like the ghost yo-yo or something that goes through things.
This game really humbled you.
Yeah.
It's great. But I don't know. I think enough going back and forth, spinning our wheels, as it were. I think we should put this one to bed. It's definitely a sleeper, and put it on our stack rank. Now, of course, we have a link to our respective lists in the doobly-doo. We are now this is our 50th game. Can you believe it?
Yeah, man.
And I don't suppose you have any idea where you're putting it?
Do I ever?
To remind you, your current number 1 is Hollow Knight. Does it beat that?
It definitely doesn't beat that. So, like, yeah, like I said, it's weirdly conflicted, where, like, Sometimes I was like, yeah, this is great. And other times I was like, meh.
Man, I don't care for this section of gameplay.
I mean, this is silly. Or it's just like early on, I found a zone where it's like, okay, you can hit a switch to release a whole ton of slimes and beat them, and you'll get a pedal container, right? It's like, I spent a while just waiting to get a combat ability.
To go back?
To be able to go back, and I was like, when do I get this? I don't know.
Yeah, again, like this is a situation where like I often find it frustrating hearing about people having trouble with things I never had any trouble with. And it's like, is it me? Am I just like immune to bad game design and too forgiving? Is my impeccable skill keeping me away from no, God no. But yeah, like all I can say is that like there were definitely like moments. What game doesn't have these? I will say that I was overwhelmed by just the charm of like the design. I think the music as well, we always forget to mention.
Oh, we do.
But it just occurred to me now. Absolutely like fits the like tone and like the aesthetic that they're going for of like the GBA chip tunes. Like this is a fun like urban Zelda game. Another thing I forgot to mention is that on startup, there's this lovingly rendered 3D model of a not Game Boy Advance with the cartridge of Pipistrello slotting in. And then like if you like zoom out, the game is running in the window of the 3D model. Their commitment to the bit is fascinating.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. Like you'll have options for like, okay, well, do you want the GBA design or this weird like plug and play controller-esque design? Two different models of a handheld console. This is such a specific cult shot, and gotta give it up.
But speaking of the music, while I was looking things up, specifically notice it calls out a guest track by Yoko Shimomura.
Yeah, that name rings a bell. Why do I know that name?
Name a series, and she's probably done something in it, such as Super Mario RPG.
Oh.
Some Kingdom Hearts music, Final Fantasy music.
Okay.
Yeah. Her song is the Manor theme.
Good theme. I like it. The Manor ends up being your final dungeon-esque thing, so hell yeah.
Yeah. So I still have to decide where the heck I'm putting this on this list.
Yeah, does that change where you're putting it? Like, okay, well, if Yoko Shimomura puts her name on this, clearly it's better than Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
No.
I know you like it better than Iconoclasts.
I do like it better than Iconoclasts, but I put Iconoclasts too high, I think. I don't know. I don't know. The music was very catchy. Definitely stuck in my head. Only one of them, I think, ever was a little annoying.
I don't know which one you're referring to, so I'll just take your word on it.
The neighborhood around the football club, I found a little grating. I don't know. It just had a sound that, when repeated,
I see.
I was like, okay, this is, I'm ready to be done with this zone now.
Okay, it was a little too repetitive, grating, just a specific, like, sequence.
Yeah, just a specific, like...
I'm not going to get you to repeat it.
I don't even remember what the sound was now. It's just, like, a specific sample that really grated on me for some reason.
Oh, isn't that just the story? Like, there's just this one thing, be it the combat or the music. There's, like, it's mostly good, but then there's the meh. And it's the meh you're focusing on right now, and...
I think I'm gonna go under Gato Roboto.
Oh.
I don't know. This is kind of arbitrary.
You don't have to say that. That's implied.
It could go lower. You could talk me down.
Honestly, that's much lower than I thought it was going, and spoiler alert, it's going much higher in mine.
Like, there are definitely things where I had a good time with it. There are also things that I got frustrated with, even though it was never actually that big of a deal, right? Like, it's like, oh no, I died. I lose 70 coins, right? But it's like, also, it's not like it's taking away progress towards the upgrades or anything, right? That's one of the perks of the upgrade system working the way it does. You've already paid for that.
Exactly. You're in debt, and they only need fresh coins, not these loser old coins you're just chucking in a well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like the highs were not as high for you, and because I don't remember the lows. I played this like 3 weeks ago now. And coming out of it, I did have the like thought in my head being like, should I do another run? Just check out New Game Plus, just still like fuck around with the system, but still might see how the speedrun develops. The New Game Plus one, as you'd expect, quite low. But for me personally, I am also looking at Iconoclast. That's why I kind of pointed it out. I don't think I can put it above Metroid Dread, but I think, even though I think Iconoclast is more interesting and from a story perspective, I gotta both respect Pipistrello's whole design ethos for being specifically a GBA game, my own personal love for Zelda games, the isometric specifically. It's just a fun game. So yeah, new number 8, Pipistrello.
Made it into the top 10.
I kind of knew it was going to, like, halfway through the game, and then it just kind of kept being interesting to me. Also, it's really fun to say. Pipistrello? Oh, chef's kiss. But anyway, we finished the main course. What are we doing for dessert, Tom?
I'm going to distract you with something completely different. I don't know. For some reason, the one gripe that I wanted to talk about was the arena.
Oh, of course.
Also just because I'm a stubborn person and refused to go to the arena with more than one heart.
Don't do that. What do you do? I went in with full hearts because it just said it's the same reward either way, just how much it costs to get in. I was like, well, if I go in with full HP, this is easy mode.
I always seemed to have the habit of spending my money on badges before trying the arena. And then, like, instead of being like, I'll come back later when I have money, just being like, all right, I'm just going to grind the dialogue that lets you try it for free if you're out of money with one heart. And I'm going to full perfect this, apparently.
You understand this, right? Like, they laid out a trap, told you what was in the trap, and how to spring it, and you're just like, I think I'm going to step on this.
Yep. The fucking ninjas.
The ninjas definitely hit you. If you have, like, say, 8 hearts, doesn't matter.
Fair. When you only have one, they end a lot of runs immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely the hardest part of that fight, is getting past the ninjas with 1 health.
Yeah, they have fast projectiles. I get it. There was a solution.
Yeah.
And I also understand that you just got a new badge. Like, let's try it out. And the hardest thing I know, the fight arena. But no, you want money and health.
Part of this is just my stubbornness of, like, must upgrade everything. I mean, like, it penalizes you for holding on to money. So my solution is to never hold on to money.
Yeah, that's fair. You could also invest that money in, say, an easy fight at the fight arena. And then it's done.
All right.
But I think we're done talking about Pipistrello. If you could tell me somewhere else we could go, some other fight club, you know.
Yeah. Let's play Castlevania.
Ooh.
Wait, no. Damn, I've mixed up which ones.
Oh, no.
We've played Dawn of Sorrow. Now it's time to play Aria? Or did I do this backwards?
You've done this backwards. We've done Aria.
We've done Aria. It's time to play Dawn of Sorrow.
DS Dawn of Sorrow?
Yes.
In my mind, I'm just like, have we played that one? But no.
No.
We did Aria, then we skipped to Order of Ecclesia.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I already have the Dominus collection, which I think it's part of, so...
Yep, it is.
I'm ready to roll.
I double-checked that because I need to be able to play things while I'm traveling next month.
Right. Sounds like a plan. So next time we'll have Dawn of Sorrow, but this is the twilight of our episode. I'm going to bid you adieu in just a second here. Of course, if you want to complain about we're doing too many Castlevania games, which one's the best, which one's the worst, which ones count, of course, you can always contact us at invertedcastlepodcast@gmail.com, on our YouTube page at Inverted Castle, or on X/Twitter. I will not give this up, at Inverted Castle P. Never forget the P. And then, of course, we're also on Mastodon, Blue Sky, Glorp, Schmorp, all the good social medias fit to be hosted for free and hopefully be freer of Nazis. Am I forgetting anything?
I don't know. I was just going to say, in my experience reading the comments, too much Castlevania is not what people complain about. In fact, I think there were complaints that we haven't played all of them yet.
Well, okay then, we're on it.
Or that we would start a Metroidvania podcast without having played all of them.
I mean, I have played all of them. We just haven't officially played them all.
Really? Have you played all of them? Even the one on the Xbox that's like... I forget.
That's like a multiplayer, like run-based roguelike thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give a free pass to Zelda games. That thing is not going on the list.
Oh, so we're going to play Four Swords Adventures?
No, I think that's a bridge too far. But before we go any further, I think I'm going to end this thing off.
Fair. It's getting a little silly.
It's getting a little out of hand. So until next time, I've been Eric Fox.
And I've been Thomas Blade.
And remember, kids, I'm not the one who's out of touch. It's you, the children, who are wrong.